Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. Happy Monday to you. Obviously, Red Monday, big surprise. Red shirt too. What you know, interesting coincidence? I think not. What we're going to do is we're going to embrace the change here and obviously see if it's going to continue lower. My speculation is it might do a nice little bounce there for an ABC pattern for Elliott wave, but for lack of better terms, I think there's a good chance we're going to see a little bit more downside now that we've broken that support level and essentially start trending downward. So get ready for that. Good news is though, if you're not familiar, altcoins are still holding moderately strong. A lot of them are still surging today. So keep in mind, when Bitcoin comes down, Bitcoin dominance comes down and Ethereum remains high, alt season is on the horizon. Not saying it's exactly 100% alt season, but I'm also kind of saying that too, because we are probably in the midst of something along those lines, which is great. That's fantastic news. We like to see that. So anyways, when it comes to Bitcoin, what we want to do is just jump right in, kind of take a quick look at some high block capital data, of course, to make sure that we understand roughly what that's looking like. And just before we do, I do ask a quick favor. If you could, please go ahead and follow us on Twitter. We are looking to grow that community. It's growing a lot quicker than we expected, and it's really nice to be able to provide really good concrete information, fundamentals, technicals, and pretty much everything you could possibly do. So it keeps you much more in the loop than my YouTube does, and I like that because I can stay in contact and interact with my community, and it just works out a lot better. I sent out a lot of DCA targets yesterday, and most of them hit their targets, so it's really nice to see that. All right, so with Bitcoin, 29,360 as of right now. We obviously lost that strong support level there at 30,000. It only held for a few days. It makes sense, of course, because capitulation has to happen. We've got a MACD divergence here as well, kind of telling us we've got a little bit more downside to come. So it'd make more sense to short into this than to long into this, even though this candlestick here today is fairly aggressive. It makes perfect sense because we lost that support. Money flow index is still high, while the RSI is tapering off, coming closer to 50. So to me, it makes a lot more sense for the price to come down than it would to go up. But if it were to come up, it'll probably bounce off of this Fibonacci retracement level there around 29,900. So it'd be my second entry if I were to have a short right now. One closer to 29.3 and then another like 29.8, 29.7, perhaps in that range, just below that level to make sure you get filled. But I'm looking more towards shorting at this point, just based on the overall sense of what we see here. We are above the 20-day set moving average. Obviously the 20 and 50 and the 200 are below the price, but the key one is to look at this 20-day simple moving average, because that really just kind of helps you understand the trend line, right? So the trend is your friend. So generally speaking, I think in this case here, we can expect the price action to come down to that level at the very least. So I'd say 29,000 would make the most sense. So if you're going to have a profit target for a short, for example, 29,000 would make a lot more sense to me. At least to see what happens there, because that 20-day simple moving average has held fairly strong this whole time. Okay, so just got to be respectful of that. Again, most trends will continue until they don't. That's just kind of the way it goes. Now, obviously, on the 4-hour, we can see that the 200-day SMA is right there at about 28,200. That was my third dollar cost average target in my chart that I sent out yesterday. We've hit our first. We're due for our second. I think the third could be a possibility, but that's right there at that 200-day simple moving average. Look at the RSI, we can see a little bounce here, potential. Money flow index is low, of course, and more importantly, RSI is right at 30. So it would make sense that we get a bouncing point right here and the price to come up and then continue lower. That would make sense to me. Let's see if Elliott wave kind of says something similar, because we can kind of see here on the charts that the price action is expecting, once again, we got this A and then the B pattern for an ABC pattern to essentially come up and reject off of either this level, this one, or this one. Now keep in mind, these are smaller Fibonacci retracement lines. So if you kind of pull that up, you can see right there, the 0.618, 0.5, and 0.382 are the bouncing points. But to me, a little bit more impactful is the larger time frame. And I would say that we are more likely to bounce off of this level here at about 30,000, because that was a previous support. Okay. So to me, I'm thinking 30,000 would be a good shorting opportunity if the price were to bounce up that high, if it even comes up that high. There's no guarantee. It does definitely look like it wants to continue lower. And again, fill that gap. I've been sending out tweets regarding the gap at 28,000. Keep in mind that could very well get filled. And it's roughly right in this range here at about the low 28 to 28,300 range. Okay, so we're gonna have this magneticism, this gravity pulling the price action down right here, and you can kind of expect it to probably continue until it doesn't, right? So I think we're gonna see at least a contraction there to the 28,700 range at the very least, at 0.5 Fibonacci retracement level, which is the most recent high, for lack of better terms. And then of course, if it continues lower, we break that plane, 28.2 would be the next target. So again, as just to reiterate here, the previous dollar cost average targets that I've been mentioning throughout the weekend is 29,200. which we've already hit. We got filled on that. 28,750 is a secondary, and a tertiary target would be 28,200. Okay. All right, so just some stuff there to kind of think about. 1 hour, let's go ahead and see if we have any overextensions here. We are at a 9, so we would expect or anticipate a potential bounce here to this 29,900, 30,000 level. But again, it's a little too early to tell. Okay, but I do think that we could very well see a bouncing point or rejection there, because again, this is the most recent low, ergo most recent high, or should be the most relevant recent high. Okay, so again, those are little things that I like to look for when trading. Again, I've only been trading for a very long time, and I can tell you these patterns repeat themselves consistently, and just really glad that we didn't try to buy the top there. A lot of folks unfortunately got stuck in some long positions with some other trading channels, and I totally get that, but sometimes patience is key, and I'm really glad that we've remained patient here to hopefully catch this next short. Looking at the zero, actually, you know what, let's look at the cloud here really quick, because I'm sure this is going to reiterate the fact that we are in a short position and need to keep it open. In other words, if you have a short, leave it open. There's no reason to close it. Every sign here points down. There's no confirmation of this slowing down anytime soon. Okay, so again, definitely looking strong there. And if we take a look at CC Gold, and we can see this called the top. And of course, we've been coming down ever since. So congrats to my community members who caught that with the short. You can see they got somewhere in the range of about a good 4% profit, at least if they held all the way until now. So good job and congrats on that. I'm confident a lot of our traders did pretty well with that. So again, if you're new to the channel, keep in mind we do have a Trading Academy community and signals group. CryptoCash.tech is a site where you can register for that. Really awesome situation, and I just love learning and growing together with my community. So thanks again, everyone. And once more, one quick last little favor, if you could please consider joining our Twitter there, following, set your alerts on, and of course, you'll be abreast on pretty much every single thing that you could possibly think of that's more relevant and consistent. And things are going pretty well. We can't complain. It's definitely a good experience. I appreciate you all very much. Hope you have a good rest of your day. We'll see you soon.